What's up, world? It's P.SO checking in with Nerd Era, where nerd culture reigns supreme. And this is my 2014 Best of list. I want to thank everybody for checking out Nerd Era this year. We've had some hits and misses. We've had some good followers on our YouTube page. We are now on Facebook, so please check out the Facebook page. We're doing some live events in New York City. We got our monthly movie club going on. So, look for a lot of things to grow for 2015. Some collaborations. We're going to keep this thing going. But always check for the Facebook. I want everyone who's on the YouTube page to make sure you guys check out the Facebook. So let's run right through our best of 2014 list. Here's all of my different categories. I have best movie, best director, best comic book film, best science fiction film, best action film, best animated film, best drama, and best comedy. So let's get right to it. Starting with best comedy. There wasn't too many comedies. You guys may or may not know I'm not huge on comedies. I love a good comedy. I love to laugh, but I'm not necessarily running the theaters to see all the comedies. The one that made me laugh the most this year was Neighbors with Seth Rogen and Zac Efron. I thought that movie was hilarious. My runner-up was 22 Jump Street. I also thought that movie was very funny, but Neighbors takes it for me. All right, best drama. There's a lot of great dramas this year, and I gotta go with Boyhood as my best drama. My runner-up was Gone Girl. I thought Gone Girl was really fantastic, but Boyhood ends up being the best drama. It's interesting because we're going to talk about Boyhood. A lot of people had problems with the story structure of Boyhood. They felt like it was too fragmented, that there wasn't enough narrative continuity in it. And I feel like they missed the point of the film. Boyhood was intended to be snapshots of life seen through a boy's eyes. Because if you really think about your life and you think about your memories, you don't remember it in one continuous stream. You remember it in certain instances. Certain milestones stick out to you in your mind. And that's how you kind of think about life. And that's how this film was. It was supposed to be a collection of milestones throughout this boy's life as we saw him get older. And they kind of even talk about that at the end of the film. And I think it puts everything in perspective, that little monologue he has with the girl sitting on the side of the mountain at the end of the film, where they talk about how life is just kind of like a collection of milestones. And that's what the film was. So I think it was a deconstruction of the traditional narrative structure. And a lot of people had problems with that because they were kind of missing tidbits of information, like especially with the mother, like, oh, what happened to that husband or what happened to that boyfriend? But I kind of think they're missing a point. I think the point was for it to be fragmented, and that's why I appreciate it. And that's why I gave it the best drama. Best animated film. This also was a nice year for animated films. We had ones like, How to Train Your Dragon, and one that I personally liked, Book of Life. But I had to give it to Lego Movie. Lego Movie is my #1 animated film. Starring Chris Pratt. I think that movie was just really fun. It was funny. It was interesting. It was unique. It had a nice twist towards the end. My runner-up was Big Hero 6. I really had a lot of fun with Big Hero 6. I thought it was great. I hope they make that into a franchise. Lego Movie just was the special, pun intended. If you see the movie, you know what I'm saying. That's a pun. That was just my favorite movie, animated movie of the year. Best action film, gotta give it to Raid 2. Raid 2 to me was just the best action film of the year. It had the best choreographed action. It had the best, sequences. The Raid series is shaping up to be probably one of the best action series of all time, and the Raid 2 just is another example of why this series is so good. And honestly, all action films need to model themselves after the Raid because they are doing it the best. My runner-up was John Wick. John Wick was a great surprise, starring Keanu Reeves this year. I had a lot of fun with John Wick. That's also a film I'm hoping that they make into a franchise. Looking forward to more installments of that. But unfortunately, it wasn't better than Raid 2. Raid 2 was just the shit. But John Wick is. I definitely tip my hat to John Wick. Next, we have Best Science Fiction Film, and I gotta give it to Edge of Tomorrow. Edge of Tomorrow was just, to me, the best, most well-rounded science fiction film of the year, and it also was a really big surprise. I think the name of Edge of Tomorrow now is Live, Die, Repeat, which I think should have been the original name. Some people think it should have been called All You Need Is Kill. I think it's a stupid name. It won't make sense for mainstream America for a movie called All You Need Is Kill. So I think that The best name for it is Live, Die, Repeat. That encompasses the concept of the film, and it's actually, I think, a cool tagline. I think that movie was just a really fun, interesting film, and the branding is what threw it off. That's why people didn't pay attention to it. And I hope that over time people revisit this film and it kind of gets the props that it deserves. And there's even some potential franchise stuff contained within there, some prequel stuff that they can do with that. So yeah, have fun with that film. Best comic book movie. This was a year where I think we had 4 comic book films. Amazing Spider-Man 2, X-Men Days of Future Past, Captain America 2, and Guardians of the Galaxy. And my favorite comic book movie of the year was, drumroll, Captain America 2. I think that was the best superhero film of the year. Obviously my runner-up is going to be Guardians of the Galaxy. I probably watched Guardians of the Galaxy more than any other movie this year. I probably had more fun with Guardians of the Galaxy than any other movie this year. So, Guardians of the Galaxy was just probably the funnest film of the year. But Captain America 2 was the superior superhero film because it was just more poignant to, today's culture and American culture, as well as it transcended superhero film. It was almost like a spy thriller. And Captain America 2 is a type of superhero film you can show to people who are kind of skeptical towards the superhero genre, and they might not be into superheroes as much. And that film would kind of convince them that, oh wow, this is kind of like a real, realistic approach to superhero film. So I'm excited to see that. Best director, I have to give it to Alejandro Gonzalez. I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name because I'm going to screw it up, for Birdman. Birdman is a fantastic film if you haven't seen it, but I think what really stands out is the acting and the directing. The direction in this film is really superb, and I think that's what stands out and kind of makes it such a great movie. The continuous shot, I'm a huge fan of continuous shots. Ever since they did it in the Casablanca scene in Goodfellas, I love continuous shots. I love how it was used in movies like Boogie Nights and movies like Children of Men. Look at those movies and pay attention to the continuous shots used in those films. Some of the best continuous shots in film. And I think that the fact that this entire movie was one continuous shot is mind-blowing. Obviously, I think they did 8 different takes to make it one continuous shot or something like that, but it's just phenomenal how they did that movie. And yeah, I really like Birdman and the direction. So best director, hats off goes to Alejandro Gonzalez. And we have our final category, best movie of the year. Drum roll, please. I give it to Boyhood. This was a very, very difficult decision to make. There's a lot of great movies like Birdman, Foxcatcher, Nightcrawler. There's a couple movies I haven't even seen yet, like A Most Violent Year. I hear is very good, and I haven't had an opportunity to see that. There was some, different films, and I gotta say that Boyhood just gave me an experience that no other film has ever given me. And I just think that it was uniquely directed, such a huge undertaking to film that movie over the course of like 12 or 15 years. And just the way it captured, and it's basically, I experienced so many of those same experiences that kid did experience, and I just think it's a very relatable movie for anyone, but especially as a man who was once a boy. Watching that film is very, very inspirational, and I just think that it's done something that no other movie has done. And anytime a movie does something that no other movie has done, you have to take your hat off and give it its props. So I gotta say Boyhood was my favorite movie of the year, or I think the best movie of the year, not my favorite, but the best movie of the year, simply because of the cinematic experience was I've never had that before. So I give it to Boyhood. Some disappointing movies that came out this year. Amazing Spider-Man 2 was pretty disappointing. Transformers 4 was pretty disappointing. I also found the Hunger Games sequel to be very disappointing. I didn't get a chance to do a review of that, but I felt that movie was really underwhelming and kind of, flat. There was a lot of great films this year, both in the indie circuit and both in the mainstream circuit. We're seeing, I think a big thing for 2014 was the superhero genre is now really, really becoming an official genre of film, and it's starting to be respected and it's starting to make a ton of money. And I really respect as a huge comic book fan, I like the fact that comic book movies are kicking ass right now. You know, some of the Hollywood trends that we're seeing that everyone's trying to do franchises, and everyone's trying to do, you know, combined universe, shared universes, and you know, that's cool. I think that's a great, you know, trend for Hollywood to go towards. It's not going to work for every single franchise, and sometimes some movies are too beholden to setting up franchises, and they're not good movies in and of themselves. But overall, especially in the comic book world, I think that this whole shared universe thing is brilliant, and I'm glad Marvel has set the trend, and I hope we continue to do that. For 2015, I want to see more women in film. I want to see more female-led films. I want to see more minorities in major roles. And another thing I would like to see is Hollywood to stop whitewashing everything. I mean, it's 2015, so enough of like having white Egyptians and stuff like that. I would like, you know, Hollywood to be more ethnically sensitive, as well as sexually sensitive, in terms of getting more females, you know, directing behind the lens as well as in front of the camera, because it's just weird that, you know, as we move forward, that there's like fewer and fewer females in major roles. Like, it's supposed to be going the other way around. I would also like action films. I would like to see more action films, like 90s style action films, to come back to Hollywood, but like done in a way that it's not shaky camera, like done like John Wick. John Wick's a perfect example. I want to see more American action films that are done John Wick style. I would also like to see the return of mysteries. You know, we don't have a lot of mysteries in Hollywood. Gone Girl was a great kind of like crime mystery. I want to see more films like that. I would also like to see more westerns, or like, you know, western-like films. Here's the thing about it. You can do a western and set it in modern day times, or set it in the future, and it can still be a western. A western doesn't necessarily have to be set in the Wild West. But I would like to see more movies about, like, you know, lone kind of like gunsmen, or, you know, someone kind of returning to a town to kind of set things right and has his own kind of twisted sense of justice in the style of a western. I would like to see Hollywood have more films like that. And yeah, I would like to see some, you know, maybe some better romantic comedies. You know, I'm not a huge romantic comedy fan, but I would like to see better and more, you know, interesting romantic comedies. I hope you had a good year. Happy holidays to everyone. It's P.SO checking in with Nerd Era. Remember, we are now on Facebook. Facebook page is on blast, so make sure you check the Facebook page. Make sure you keep subscribing to the YouTube page and checking back here for videos. We also are going to have more live events in New York. If you live in the New York City area, we're going to be doing more of our live movie club event, as well as some other stuff. So keep checking in. Shout out C Monty for holding me down. Check out all them. Shout out Chopstick Graffiti. Shout out Deviant Children. Shout out some of my music cohorts. Shout out to Hungry Bros, K Gaines, Liquid, all, you know, Hunger Division peoples. Yeah, man. Shout out my music channel too. Check out P.SO Earth Tone. You know, because I do music, so please check that out too as well. And yeah, keep it here for Nerd Era. We're gonna keep it strong. We're gonna keep it moving. I'm gonna keep dropping you all that nerd, comic book, movie, science, technology, all of that stuff. All right. And thank you for following. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching. And yeah, look forward to next year. Peace.